welcome back to Let's Create with Mackie. Today we're going to be doing a 1-point perspective room, an interior room. And so I'm going to show you how to set up an interior room and to create a perspective room that's going back to that 1 point. This one I'm going to set up as simple as possible. I've also done it with my daughter who created this room. And so it is for multi-age people. So let's get started. I've got a plain piece of paper. If it was in my classroom, I'd always have you start by writing your name. Now, you can use a mechanical pencil or a regular pencil. Whichever you prefer, it is what you're more comfortable with. Getting started, I am going to set up my room to get that 1 point. And so I'm going to draw really light, but hopefully dark enough you can see here. This is not a drawing you want to draw with Sharpie. You're going to start definitely with the pencil. So I just went back, and if you nick your finger like I did, that just went back and erased. But I'm just taking the ruler and going from corner to corner. Try not to get it too dark, because I want to erase part of this. So this is my point right here. Now, to getting my second part of my room, I need to measure, and I want it to be equal. So usually I just choose something simple, like I put this 1 inch on the center, and then I'm gonna go 1 inch above and 1 inch below. And then I'm gonna just do that again. It doesn't really matter where you use. You can use anywhere as long as you just know you're only doing 1 inch. So I do 1 inch above, 1 inch below. Now, this ruler is way too big for using for the actual other parts of the line. So I'm going to use this template with a plastic straight edge, and then it has other measuring if I need. But I'm going to go on to my point. Draw across from here. And the great thing about using this is that you get a really crisp line with using a mechanical pencil. Now, if you drew light enough, you should be able to go back and erase most of the lines that are in here. Because really, this is just setting up, like I said, that 1 point that we want everything to go back to. So right now, everything in my room is going back to here. Now, I can add in a door by taking my point here, and I make the top of the door. So I can make several doors. I'm going to make this so it goes all the way. So I, again, make my point edge here. But this is going to make the top of the door. So I can make a door here. And I could have a door that's over here. And when things are big, that usually means it's closer to you. If something's far in the room, it's going to be further away from you, and it's going to be smaller. So near is close, far is small. So I've got my top of my doors. Now I'm going to make the bottom of my doors. I want to make them as parallel as possible to either this line right here, and you could measure more. I'm going to just kind of eyeball it. But if they're parallel, it's going to look like the door is kind of bigger on one side. I could put like a door handle here. And I could put like hinges. So you can see on my door. Now, if I really wanted everything in perspective, again, I could make even these little lines on the hinges. Go back to that line. This is where that perspective part really, you can see how it changes it just a little bit. So now I have one door. I'm gonna line this up again, try to make it so it's parallel to the outside, and drop it down. Again, if I want my hinges to be matching up, I can go back to what my original ones are. Get the point, I can go back and connect them. And again, I'm just going to put some decorational hinge stuff. So now I have two doors. Now anything on this back part of this room, unless it's coming off of the wall, like if I wanted, I'm going to borrow this little rectangle. If I want this little rectangle to be on this back wall or right in front of this back wall, I could even put it up against this wall. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to have it so it touches this wall right here. And this is where that drawing lightly really helps. But practicing drawing perspective is one of those things that practice. Even though I have done things like this a ton of times, still practicing. So now I have the side. And simply I made the rectangle, try to make it close to this wall. It's a little further away than I'd like, but it still will work. And then I made this rectangular square. And then I put a point here. And I went back into the depth, went over here to this point of the dresser, went back at that depth, and then I connected as parallel as I could a straight line that went up and down. The one on top is going to be kind of parallel to this line to making the back of the dresser. And then if it had drawers, I can just then I can just put knobs on my doors. So now I have a dresser in my room. So there's lots of ways to add shapes into this room. I'm kind of just giving you some simple things now. I'm going to do one more piece of furniture, and then I'm going to show you how you could add in some like carpet lines, or if you wanted to have some other stuff. Again, if it's on this back wall though, it is going to be actually just looking at the shape. So if you want like a window, it's just going to be the shape. If I wanted a window over here, again, I could go back to this point. I could actually make it so it's the same height as these doors, but just have it end a little bit more narrow. And then again, coming back with that parallel line. And coming back with this parallel line here. So it's going to look bigger on this side, smaller on that side. Again, whatever side your dot is on, that's where my ruler is. That's where I can go back and line up. I'm going to put it like it's a lift window, so it's just going to have like a little latch right here. So I'm going to show you one more piece of furniture on this side, and this is just kind of getting started to your room. So maybe I want a bed on this side, and so I'm going to use this rectangle shape, and I put my rectangle so that the corner of it is on this line. That's going to be the part that's like the end of my bed. So if this is like a bedboard and not the mattress, if I wanted it like the mattress and the top, I could use it. Some of this part of my wall is going to disappear, so I'm just going to kind of lighten it up right now. But again, I'm going to take my point, put it to the first corner, and I'm going to draw back. This line is going to be a line that if it kept going, it would intercept. So sometimes I have to double check. And I'm going to go back. So I'm kind of just guessing how far, and then I'm going to make a line that looks parallel as best as I can. And I think just to give the perspective that this is like a mattress, I'm going to give another layer. So now I'm going to finish it off with a parallel line to this line. Then I'm going to go back over here. And this is extra, so I can go back and erase it. And I can re-highlight this little bit of my wall. I want the parallel line to this line. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line as parallel as I can. And then if I want to add things, I can. So if this is a bed, I could add feet. And I'm going to get the angle of the line going back here. This one, I'm going to finish off by putting a... Now, if you need to along here, if I'm going too fast, remember I'm practicing, I've practiced a lot. If you need to, pause the video, draw the video, and you can always press back and look at it again, just if you need a shape or if you need a repeat. So this line is parallel to this line. That's going to make the bottom of the foot. Now I have 2 legs on my bed. I'm going to put one more. So I put the shape. This shape is again going to be the exact shape that you can see. I can use this little kind of rectangle to just help it parallel with this part. But again, take the dot, line it up. So now I have a 2-layer bed. I'm going to add a couple more details just so you can see how it could become more detailed. So I'm going to go draw this back just a little bit more. Just give it a little more depth. This way I can make a headboard. I can go up. Draw this line up a little bit. To top it off, I can just go back with my line and up. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to crispen up this line a little bit. So it's starting to come along. Now, adding some other details into my room. If I wanted another window or if I wanted, I'm going to put some posters. So I'm going to go back and I'm just going to add some posters to my room. I can add posters by just making, or windows and posters, I could make it. So I just made some top lines. I can make them different depths just by moving this part. So if one of them's a window, I could have a window. If one of them's a big poster, this could be a big poster. Again, these lines are parallel to this line on the outside, or parallel to the lines that are in here. And if I want to have it another one like this window, go back. Now, I could always add more detail to this, but I'm keeping it kind of simple because I could put another layer in this window. But just for the sake of the video and time, I'm just going to add those details for today. So I got a couple doors, a couple windows, and then I'm going to add posters. I could have different things that I could go back in. I'm just going to make just a little example of maybe like kind of rough and starry night in. And this poster, let's create art. Mackie. Now, once you get it all drawn out with your pencil and you know you have it. Oh, I was gonna teach you one more thing. If you want to have it so you have a light fixture on the ceiling, you're gonna go back to here. Now these ones are gonna be parallel. So these ones, you have your parallel lines here. If it's up here, it's gonna be your vertical, your horizontal line is gonna be horizontal at the top and bottom. So I'm gonna put my pencil on the dot. I'm gonna draw back a pencil. And this is just gonna be like if I had a big light fixture in this room. It's a little off center, but it's okay. Big light fixture. If this one was coming out, I would just go to here. I'm going to do it on the other side. And I'm going to make it have like a square bottom. Or checker bottoms, that's what I should call it. Some nice big checker bottoms. That's pretty awesome. Now, fun details you could add in. Of course, you can add in some, maybe I want a fluffy pillow. And yes, this one you could go back to here. Maybe it's a squishmallow kind of thing. A squishy pillow, kind of make it just, and it's got maybe some bed sheets. And I'm just going to draw them coming down. Because sometimes these lines, especially when they're your bed sheets, aren't always as crisp. Maybe you have that touch. So there I added some different details. Make this one a little more wavy. Now, once you get to this step, if you want, you could just leave it like this. You could just color it. I like to trace mine with Sharpie before I color mine. So I'm going to time-lapse that one on the tracing and then add in some color. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial on how to draw a one-point perspective room with some doors, some windows, posters, even adding some other stuff. If you have any questions, I could do other tutorials about this. And I hope you enjoyed creating with Miss Mackie. Thank you.